Okay, so as far as the eyes go, I always start off a makeup by putting a bit of concealer on my eyelids and then powdering it. So this helps prevent any creasing happening, especially for those of you who have maybe slightly more oily eyelids. I'm lucky enough not to have particularly oily eyelids, so I don't suffer from creasing too much, but this is still a good tip for everyone. And then if you want to go ahead and use a primer like the Urban Decay one or the Too Faced Shadow Insurance, go ahead, it's always a good idea. Just, I think the tip there is always not to apply too much. But I don't feel like I need to use that all the time. I like to use this cream eyeshadow. It's by Bobbi Brown and it's in Bone. Now this is pretty much the exact same colour as my skin. I have it here on this eye, on my eyes, and you can see it doesn't affect the colour of my skin whatsoever. So if you're darker than me, obviously you're going to need a darker colour. Just try and maybe go into the shops, swatch whatever colour suits you best. I can't advise anything because there's just a million different colours and skin tones that you could be. So next one I'm going to do is apply kind of a neutralish pearly eyeshadow. Now it's pearl, but don't worry, it's not very shiny. It's a Bourjois Beige Rose. So I just apply that over the entire lid area up to the brow. If you're more comfortable using a more matte one, please do, but this is just the right side of kind of pearly. It doesn't give off too much of any kind of iridescence or. Next, I'm going to be using this extremely inexpensive product. I can't remember how much it was. I just remember it was very, very cheap. So it's this little trio, and I've got it in Boots, and it's by 17. And the reason I like it is the colours are just quite flattering and soft. It's very, very soft, quite neutral. It's perfect for like a natural eye makeup. And this pink colour here, it's an extremely soft, like romantic pink, and it's just very flattering, I find. I mean, you can see there, it's not by any means overpowering in any way. And I like to apply it here on the inner corners because I find it works like kind of the same way a pink toned concealer would at helping conceal the area and brighten it up. Obviously, like, this is another thing I have is Benefit's Eye Bright, kind of the same idea. You can apply that there to the inner corners and blend it a bit to brighten up the area. So, you know, whatever suits you. I'm happy just using this. So I apply that to the whole inner corner area and up. Okay, for the rest of the eye, you've got, well, I'm going to show you two options. Obviously, you have a lot more options, but you can use this brown or something very similar. Now these are kind of satin finish, which is nice because it's just that slightly, you know, one step up from the matte, but it's still not, you know, shiny enough to warrant any distress, you know, concerning how it'll show up in photographs. So this is the one I'm using. It's again an extremely inexpensive product. It's Natural Collection eyeshadow from Boots. 1 or 2 quid, that's all it cost me. And I'm applying that on this outer half of the eye. I'm bringing it up above the crease, and it's going to be brought underneath here over to where it meets the pink, about 2/3 of the way in. So I'm just using the cream colour, I suppose, from this Pot Next. You can see how often and much I've used this, and I have used it on weddings before. So I'm just going to use that to soften around the edges up here, around the highlight. Use the Beige Rose again if you want, or whatever else you've got at hand that's similar. Okay, so for my crease colour, I have this cute little set that I got. It's a Bourjois set, and it's called Perfect Harmony Shadow and Contour, and this is number 15, Call Me Rose. So these colours, you know, work really well together. So I mean, this pink you could use if you wanted this pink, if you wanted the colour to be a little more, basically if you wanted a bit more pink, this is a colour you could use. And I'm going to use this brown colour in the crease. So I'm using a pencil brush. I'm going to pick up some of that and start drawing the crease. I'm bringing this dark brown underneath the eyes as well, closer to the lash line than the last brown, and on the outer edge of my eyelid. You want your eyebrows to be defined so that they obviously, you know, look well in photographs, but they don't need to look harsh. So use a shadow rather than a pencil if possible. Sometimes you might need a pencil, depends on how sparse their eyebrows are. But use a shadow or a colour that's a couple of shades lighter than your own hair colour. It just tends to look better that way. I'm actually using the brown in this trio again, and I'm using the 266 Max, so just any kind of small flat brush, and fill in your brows. See, it makes such a big difference without it being, you know, overpowering. I just brush the hairs into place using a spoolie, and then using a clear mascara. I don't think you need to go out and get a brow set that tends to cost more than what I think it's worth. When you can get really cheap mascara that does, you know, not all cheap mascara flakes, but you can get inexpensive clear mascaras that do the job just as well. So try and shop around for them, you know, look up makeup forums to see what are decent ones that are also quite inexpensive. I'm using the Natural Collection one from Boots, and I have no problems with this, and it was only a couple of quid. Okay, so what I'm doing next is just getting a black eyeshadow. This is my Rimmel one, and I'm using the same brush I used on my eyebrows. And I'm putting a little bit of the product on, not too much, and I'm just pressing a little bit of the black in against my lashes, very lightly. And then if you need to, you can use your pencil brush or whatever brush you were using underneath your eye, and just soften that a bit, because the whole idea with this is soft. And I'm also applying the same black from the center of my eyelid, and I'm just dabbing that on lightly. So that it looks like that. Okay, so to help soften this outer corner, I'm getting the smallest bit of black on a blending brush. I'm using a Daniel Sandler blending brush, whatever one you have is fine. And then just place it like that into the outer corner. This is just to place the product. See, there's not a huge amount going on, just a little bit. You really don't want too much on the brush. And then softly just twirl that around and blend it up and over a bit. I don't want the crease to be very black. I just want to help just add a little bit of depth. So blend that well as you need it. Okay, so if you're happy with that, you can leave your eyeshadow as it is, and you know how you've defined the upper line. What I like to do sometimes on people maybe more so with dark hair is just apply a very thin line very close to the lash line. And this just gives it an extra little bit of definition. This wouldn't be for everyone now though, really. I kind of tend to stay away from flicks obviously for this kind of look, but if you want to extend it up a tiny bit, that's okay.